Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of MyGunDiary.com. I'm your host, Felix Mena, and today we're going to do an overview and a disassembly and reassembly of the Smith & Wesson M&P series. Now, in front of me, I've got two different varieties of the Smith & Wesson M&P. On the right-hand side, we have the Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm with the Nickel Boron slide, as you see there. And on the left-hand side here, we have the very cool Smith & Wesson M&P VTAC model, which stands for Viking Tactical, and that's in a .40 caliber. So I'll give you a little breakdown on both of those. The Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm with the Nickel Boron slide, of course, it differs from the standard Smith & Wesson M&P in that the slide, as you see here, aside from being two-tone in color, is a nickel boron plated slide. Now, what does that mean? Well, the nickel boron coating on the slide is a very hard coating. It's like Teflon, but it's tougher and it's more durable. There's very little friction against other metals, and it's very long lasting. So it's a very high performance material. It's a high performance slide. There's very little friction between the other metals, like I mentioned. It's going to last a really long time. This particular model, the Nickel Boron, is made by Smith & Wesson exclusively for one of their distributors called Talo or Talo. I'm not quite sure how it's pronounced. So these are, semi-difficult to find. I've shot this one. I probably put 200 rounds through it. Just like my first Smith & Wesson M&P, it worked absolutely flawlessly, and it's quite a beautiful gun. It's just got the standard sights on it. I'll let you have a little look on it. Look at the sights there. Quite a nice looking piece. Of course, it's got the polymer grip here. It's got ambidextrous slide catch here, so you can employ the slide catch on either side, the left or the right here. And there's no safety on it. Here's the magazine catch. Now, just a quick note, you'll notice in the box here I've got 3 magazines, one in the pistol itself and 2 in the box, but it doesn't come with 3. I bought an extra one on my own, and it only comes with 2. Then over here on the left hand side, we have the very cool M&P .40 caliber in the VTAC model, which is the Viking Tactical model, which really what the highlight is on this are the very cool sights. And I'll give you a nice look at the Viking Tactical sights here. And you see that they're highly visible, and there's 2 sets of sights there. One that are glow in the dark for nighttime use, and the other for daytime use. But I assure you that the night sights are very bright and very easy to see in low light situations. So in actuality, the top sights here, the ones that you see up top, those are the ones that you use in the daytime, and the bottom ones are the ones that glow in the dark for nighttime use. Now, to give you an idea of what these cost, I looked at the VTAC website, and those sights there, retail price on the sights is $240. Now, I'm sure that most places knock off a few bucks. I don't know exactly how much they go for, but at least $180, $160, something like that. So a lot of the value of that gun there is going to be just in the cost of the sights. Now, of course, the most distinguishing feature about the M&P Viking Tactical model is the color. It's the flat dark earth, and the slide, of course, is also in that flat dark earth color. Now, how do they get the slide to look that color? Well, this slide is got what's called a Pvd coating, and Pvd stands for physical vapor deposition. And it's a really high-tech metal vapor that they coat this with. They mix it with different gases to form a thin film coating, and the molecular structure of that coating can be fine-tuned to produce a number of desired properties in terms of hardness and friction, etc. So it's a really, really high-tech coating that they have in the slide, also very durable, different than the nickel boron, but equally high-tech and very, very cool. One of the cool things about the PVD coating is that they can make it in a number of colors, and in this case, of course, they made it in the flat dark earth to match the color of the polymer lower here. So that handgun's just got a very, very cool look to it as well. Now, of course, as is standard on all the Smith & Wesson M&Ps, you've got the back strap here, which is interchangeable. Each one comes included with 3 different size back straps, a small, medium, and large. And then you get 2 magazines with it. And like what I always do, I always buy an extra magazine because I like having 3 magazines. So the Viking Tactical magazines come with a flat dark earth base here, and I just went ahead and bought a 3rd magazine, which doesn't have the flat dark base on it. So let's get to disassembling one of these so you can see how to take it apart. Okay, before you handle any firearm or disassemble any firearm, what you want to do is make sure you clear that firearm. So we're going to drop the magazine. We're going to pull that slide back, make sure it's clear, and that one is. So once that's complete, let's get to disassembly. It's really quite easy with the Smith & Wesson M&P. First thing you're going to do is push a slide back and engage the slide catch. Then there's a slide release lever right here. You're just going to push that down with your thumb. And the one last little extra step that you've got to do with the Smith & Wesson M&P, there's a little lever here that needs to be pushed down on the inside. I'll see if you can get a good look at it. But basically you can take a pen or any kind of tool. I use the tip of a cleaning rod here, and you can just put it in there and push down the lever. And let's see if you can get a good look at the lever I'm talking about. You'll see it sticking out there. I'll push it back up so you can see what I'm talking about. That lever that was just sticking out, you've got to push that lever out to disassemble it. Alright, so that little lever's pushed out, and now that that's done, you can just release the slide release, and that'll come apart just like that. And then as far as disassembly, remove the spring and the barrel comes out. And to reassemble it, just in opposite order, put the spring in, slide it back on, engage the slide catch. With your finger you can push that level up. It's the lever up. You just can't get at it with your finger. You need a little tool in order to push it down. Push that slide release back up, or the slide release back up, and you're all set to go. And that's all you really got to do for disassembly. I'm not going to disassemble the VTAC. It disassembles the exact same way. So that's all there is to it as far as disassembly. I mean, one of the things I look for when I buy a pistol is how easy it is to disassemble, and the Smith & Wesson M&P certainly is very, very easy to disassemble. There are only 2 other handguns that I own that are easier to disassemble than the Smith & Wesson M&P. One of them is the Sig Sauer P232, and the other one is the Springfield Xdm, which I'll show you right now. So here's my Springfield Xdm. Now it's comparable to the Smith & Wesson M&P. This one's a 40 caliber, this one's a 40 caliber. Basically they're competitors, they're in the same price range, they're targeting the same market, but I'll show you the difference in disassembly. First I clear that. So to disassemble the Springfield Xdm, same thing, you push the slide back and engage the slide catch. You push down the slide release, you push up the slide release on this one. The difference is that there's no lever that you need to push down here on the Springfield. You simply release the slide catch and the slide comes off. So that one's actually easier to disassemble than the Springfield, or I'm sorry, than the Smith & Wesson M&P, but it's really not that big of a deal. They're both extremely easy to disassemble. As you see on my Springfield Xdm, I've added an aftermarket overgrip on here, which I really like, but this video is not about the Springfield Xdm. We'll get back to that. All right. The only other thing you really need to know about the Smith & Wesson M&P 40 and the Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm is that the 9mm holds 17 rounds plus 1, and the 40 caliber holds 15 rounds plus 1. Both are very robust. Both are very reliable. I've shot the Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm in rapid fire. I put many rounds through it, put many rounds through my previous M&Ps I've had, and have never had a single misfire with either one. I have yet to take out the VTAC to shoot it, but there's no reason to think that it wouldn't have the same type of reliability. So very, very highly reliable pistols, very, very cool color schemes, very, very high-tech materials with the nickel boron slide here on the 9mm and the Pvd coating on the VTAC model. I can't recommend either of these pistols highly enough. These are both absolutely fantastic handguns, and I recommend going out and picking up either one of them. So I had some t-shirt designs done. I've been promoting it quite a bit on the blog. Here's one of the t-shirt designs. As you see, the slogan says, "I like to shoot guns just at targets, not people." It says the website name on the bottom there, mygundiary.com. And the second design here, which I really like, says, "Guns are fun when handled safely." I mean, the whole idea is to promote the sport of shooting guns and collecting guns, but never forget that the main thing with handling firearms is safety. So go out and have a good time shooting your firearms. Support the blog and the website by picking up a t-shirt. There's a third design that is for a black t-shirt, so be sure to be on the lookout for that as well. And thanks again for tuning in to mygundiary.com. I appreciate all the support and all the readership, and I'll see you next time.